to Learn to Play Through, and I'm your host, Jonathan, and tonight we're going to be unboxing the Shadows of Brimstone, City of the Ancients. So let's get that box up here. Alright, got ourselves a big box, got a heavy box, got to be a lot of good stuff in here. Let's get this thing opened. Information. So they sent over some promo sleeve packs here for us. There we go. Shadows of Brimstone, City of the Ancients. It's a pretty heavy game here, good size here, so don't get discouraged when you go to your store and you see it with the price. So found this on miniaturemarket.com, $65. Normally it's about $100, so about a 30% savings there. This game is produced by Flying Frog Productions and it's designed by Jason C. Hill here. It is a 1 to 4 player cooperative game and has a Western theme with a tint of horror to it. So think of it as the Wild Wild West meets H.P. Lovecraft. Alright, so let's get this thing opened up. Oh my gosh. There we go. Let's see what we got inside this big box here. Excellent. Alright. Okay. Ooh. We have a lot of miniatures that need to be put together. So, looks like if you are not a miniature putting together kind of person, I don't know, right off the bat, this might not be the game for you. But when I was younger, I did a lot of model building, so I'm looking forward to that. There's the bases for that. And in it, we got ourselves some books, and more books. Got some cards. Oh my gosh, more cards, and more cards. Crazy. Alright, got the dice. Got some interesting looking dice here. And looks like we got some cards. Looks like our players. And some other kind of cards here. Depth event. Doc's office. Then we got something here. We got a CD game soundtrack. So maybe some kind of Western type movie. Or music. Not movie, but a music. Interesting. So I'm assuming that on the bottom here is probably our tiles. Yep, sure enough. And underneath we have, which is probably the most of the weight here, is a good section of tiles. So what we're going to do now is we're going to put this all back inside here. Okay, and we're going to split this up. We're going to take the miniatures and I'm going to go transport it over here to my workstation here, to where we go and build these up. We'll see what they look like. And then the rest of the game here, we're going to take this downstairs to the gaming area, the gaming table, and we're going to open her up, see what all the information is inside here, all the different tiles and the cards, and see what's involved with everything. And we'll get this game going. We'll have some fun. Once again, Shadows of Brimstone, City of the Ancients. Hello, and welcome back to the unboxing of Shadows of Brimstone, City of the Ancients. Let's go and get this box open and check out the components inside, the quality of them, what they look like, the feel, and the information about them. So right off the bat, we find ourselves a product catalog here from spring of 2015, so there might be a little bit more games out other than this catalog, so head on over to their website, flyingfrog.net. You can get some more information on other games that are out there. Here's their website and other websites that you can go to. Then we got ourselves a couple books here. Got a Shadows of Brimstone, City of the Ancients adventure book. And we got ourselves the rule book. Rule book here is pretty hefty, nice and heavy here with some nice looking pages, nice and glossy and heavy looking. So basically this rule book is what you'll need to learn to play the game. A lot of good information in here, good examples, helpful hints. Once you get the information down and start playing the game here, check out the adventure book here. So in the book here you can have a little bit more information regarding the City of the Ancients, the monsters, and some more information here regarding it. Once you get that information going, instead of just playing your basic characters, you can go ahead and level them up. This way your character will increase in size, of strength, hit points, abilities, by using these upgrade charts. Then you start going on little missions. So these are made up missions that you can get a feel for the game and get a little bit more history and depth to it. They give you some examples here of, for a few Darkstone more or exploration, where they actually have a storyline to it of things to do as you go out and do the adventures. Now those adventures are all random here, so this next set they're actually a little bit more where they're set up to where you can see that they set the maps up here. And you go through it, the storyline of setting them up, and the mission goals and objectives and things like that to do. Now the City of Ancients here has just the mines, but also other than going from room to room, you can actually go through portals. And the portal is going to send you over to the world of Targa Plateau. And in there, you have to deal with the environment of snow and ice and freezing cold weather. Once you finish up all that information of going through there and achieving your objectives, you can head back to town here. So when you get back to town, you can check out the different areas and talk to people, sell some stuff, buy some stuff, get some stuff. And the last is finding out some information about the monsters, the story of Brimstone, about what's going on. They finish it off with a little comic book here. So the City of Ancients comes up with 4 characters that you can play with. You got a U.S. Marshal, a Bandito, Gunslinger, and a piano player. Now as you noticed, all of them are men, but if you wanted to play the female version of them, just flip the cards over. So now you got the Saloon Girl. And then the next 3, Gunslinger, Bandita, and U.S. Marshal, are the same as the other ones. They're just the female version. Now the Saloon Girl doesn't have the male version, which is a Saloon Guy. Instead, it's the piano player. So all of their stats and abilities are the same on both sides. You just depict whether or not you want to play a male or a female. Now without the heroes in the world, wouldn't be the same without any monsters. So we got ourselves our monsters here. Got a Void Spider, Stranglers, Tentacles, Night Terrors, Targa Pylons, and the big baddie, Goliath. So the construction on these cards here are very strong also, so not flimsy, going to get ripped or anything like that. So very nice quality here. Now, when you're playing your character, you might be increasing in the size and ability and strength and stuff like that, that you'd end up probably battling like 20 or 30 of these void spiders, and you find that there's really no challenge to the game. But as you get up higher in level, you actually would just flip this card over, and now you have the Brutals. So the Brutals are the same monsters, it's just that their abilities and their stats are all increased, so they're a little bit harder. So as you can see here, like the Void Spider, its ability is Void Venom, because if you flip it over back to the original one, there is no ability. So it's a little bit stronger there to make it more of a challenge for you. Now as you're playing the game, there is the possibility of getting knocked out or something like that. So they have here what's called an injury chart. You would just roll on it. You'd roll a 2d6, and whatever you roll, this is what you would get. You'd read it and just apply it to your character. Now also, there's a possibility of going mad. So they have a madness chart and do the same thing. Roll a 2d6, get your information. And now there's the evil that's inside the mind. It's called the darkness. When the darkness occurs, you roll on it. And there's a possibility of rolling doubles that something worse would happen with the darkness. Now once you finish up all in the mind, you'd go back to town. Now in the town, you have this little map here, and it shows that you have 6 different areas that you can go to. And then you got 2 different areas that you can stay in, the hotel and the campsite. And then every day, some kind of an event might happen if you roll bad on the event dice there. So as you can see there, you've got the different areas. And then as you get into the town, so like I said, you had 2 different areas. You had either the hotel or the camp. So if you stay in the camp, there's the possibility that something bad might happen. So you have to roll on this one. And then, like I said, day by day, something bad might happen. So you roll a 2d6, you get the information here, and just apply it. Now the box comes with a CD here, Shadows of Brimstone game soundtrack. So let's go ahead and pop this in, and we'll listen to a little bit of it while we talk about the rest of the parts inside the box here. Alright, got ourselves a bunch of cards here. Okay, I guess for some reason they don't want you to get these cards out. Jeez. Alright, so we got what's called encounters here. A lot of cards here. Now we got another setup here, it's called artifacts. So cards are pretty good stock. Nice and hefty. Good artwork on them. A lot of information. Artifacts, we got the mine artifacts. Personal items. Starting gear. Gear cards. So these are basically cards throughout the game that you draw when certain events happen. Oh man, they still don't want you to get these cards out. Crazy. Alright, more gear cards on this deck. And then I got Growing Dread. Something happens during the darkness time there. Then you got yourself the monsters here. Got an epic threat monster. Got the high monsters, mediums, and low. As you can see here, it even tells you right on there that it says 1 to 2 heroes that you would use the low monsters. Got yourself darkness cards. That'll happen during the darkness time. and scavenge. So you can look around the mines to look for stuff. And if you find stuff, you get loot. Loot, 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 more loot. Let's see what we got here. That says gold nuggets. D6 times 50. And our last set here. Got some information about a 6-shooter. You got other hit types. So these are like little reference cards. You got some kind of starting things for your characters. Here's your side bag. A world card, probably in the Targa Plateau. You got the threats in the other world, which is your Targa Plateau. And then you got the map deck. So like I said earlier, at the first one, when you played the game, that you would flip the map deck. Now this is in the Targa world, and this one's the mine. So you'd flip the mine to find that you have a cross passage. And this is where you enter from, and then these are the exits. So no exploration token. And then we have the Targa Plateau, the encounters. That's all the cards. A lot of cards, a lot of cards. So, like I said, high playability for this game. So earlier I was talking about, taking 2d6 or whatever. So as you can see, these are your 6-sided dice here. Normal kind of diamond dice you'd play with. And as you said, it was like 2d6. So the 2 means you take 2. The D would stand for dice, and 6 means a 6-sided. So you just roll 2d6. And then we got ourselves a couple special dice here. So like I said earlier, I said a D6. So in this case, this one would be a D8 because it's an 8-sider. There's 8 sides to the dice. So if it asks for a D8, you would roll this one. And then we have another dice here, which is called a Peril Dice. Now this Peril Dice has got it where it's a 6-sided dice, but as you can see, there are 2 3s and there are 2 4s on the dice. So there is no 1 or 2 on this dice. So this is mostly used when you roll for number of monsters coming out. You would roll a Peril Dice. And the last part of our setup here is the tiles. Most of the weight of this box is coming from the tiles, because there's 9 tile sections here. They're all set up in here. All you have to do is just pop them out. And this is the gameplay area. So you'd go ahead and just pop that out. And then this is your tile. So you'd go ahead and just play with the mine area. And then if you go into the Targa Plateau world, all you do is just flip it over. And now you got the Targa world. So we're going to go ahead and just take a nice little brief intermission here. And at that time, I'll go ahead and pop out all of the tiles to lay them all out. Lay out the cards in their area and the information. And we'll get going from there. Hello and welcome back to the unboxing of Shadows of Brimstone, City of the Ancients. This is Learn to Play Through with your host Jonathan. And should I say, welcome back to the unbagging of the miniatures of Shadows of Brimstone, City of the Ancients. So as I said earlier in the unboxing, is that you do get a bag full of miniatures here to put together. You got your 4 heroes, along with all of the monsters that comes with the game here. Now, the only monster that they're actually missing that shows from the monsters that you can get are the Targa pylons. Those do not come with the game. You actually have to buy those separate. Put those together also. Once the miniatures are made up, they come with these bases here on a 30mm, a 40mm, and a 60mm base. So you got the medium, the large, and the big one. So we're going to go ahead and take out the tentacles here. Just show you a brief how to put them together here. In it, you'll need some side clippers to chunk off the big pieces of plastic there. Get an X-Acto knife. That'll do the fine scraping off. And if you really want to get some fineness, go ahead and get yourself some small files of some sort. So we're just coming in here, giving the tree a cut. So that'll get off the big chunks there. And then you just come in with your knife here. And go and cut it down until it gets nice and fine with the model there. And then you can continue on with the gluing and the painting, which is what this box is for. Several days later, I went ahead and ordered up some more stuff. Go ahead and help me out with the models here. More information here from miniaturemarket.com. So I got the Shadows of Brimstone, the Creatures of the Void paint set. And the Shadows of Brimstone, Heroes of the Old West. So this would be for the heroes. Got myself a couple cans of primer, black and white. Got some paintbrushes and some glue. Can't forget the glue. And also, I got this stuff is where the models, if they don't fit together perfect and they leave gaps, you connect this stuff and squish down into the seams, and then you can go ahead and smooth it out to make it look nicer instead of having big gaps in your models and making them look bad. So, got ourselves our glue, their tentacles, and let's go ahead and start prepping these up, and we'll come back and we'll get some of these put together. Hello there, and welcome back to the assembling of our miniatures here. Let's go ahead and take a look at what we got going on here so far. We got ourselves 12 void spiders, and 6 tentacles. As you can see, they're set up in 3 different poses. Got our heroes, the Bandito, the Saloon Girl, the Gunslinger, and the U.S. Marshal. In the back, we got ourselves the big baddie, the Goliath, the Night Terrors, and finally a couple Stranglers. As you can see, those Stranglers are set up the same way the tentacles are in 2 different poses, so it gives the game a little bit of variety instead of having the same stuff out there. So at the moment, we're just setting up here to glue our feet onto our Night Terrors, and we're going to use that glue that we bought, this Formula P3, and let me tell you, this stuff is awesome. This stuff takes about 5 seconds or so to start setting up, giving you enough time to get your miniature set up in its pose to the way it has to be going before it gets set up. And especially these Night Terrors, And this Goliath, the body has got to be set up and hooked together with its arms and its legs inserted. And it'll give you enough time to get those arms and legs in there before it sets up completely. Now the feet and the bottom of the miniatures that are hooked up to the bases were having some issues. So I went ahead and got some fine sandpaper here. As you can see, the white scrapes on it are the bottom of the miniatures that I would scrape to get them flat so that when they do get placed upon their bases, they would glue and set up nicely. So let's go ahead and get these miniatures all set up here, get them brought downstairs to the gaming table with all the other components, and start getting this game going as we play Shadows of Brimstone, City of the Ancients. Hello, and welcome back to the unboxing of Shadows of Brimstone, City of the Ancients. We got all the components laid out here, so let's go and do an inventory check to see actually how many pieces were inside that box. Underneath the box, we have a couple books, CD, and some large cards for a total of 23 pieces. Underneath them are the dice, 3 different types, for a total of 18 pieces. To the right are the miniatures that we had to put together. There was a total of 115 pieces that we had to put together to produce the 32 miniatures there. To the right of them are the tiles that came in 2 different types for a total of 46 pieces. To the left of them, in the middle, are the tokens. They had 38 types there, which came to a total of 376 pieces. And finally, the cards up at the top. There's 22 different types there for a total of 259 pieces. Grand total, 754 pieces comes inside this box of Shadows of Brimstone, City of the Ancients. So let's go ahead and take all these pieces here and put them back into the box. And yes, by the way, they do all fit back in the box, kind of snugly, but they do fit. So let's get this table all set up for our first game of Learn to Play Through, Shadows of Brimstone, City of the Ancients.